FXBros.
Hold on 1 second, y'all. Be right back. All right. We in here.
Another glorious Sunday
Yes,
live. How we
sir.
doing today? How we doing this evening? Excuse me.
April 28th. About to wrap up this month. First month and second quarter. So we got a lot of important candles about to close. We got a strong weekly that's going to end the month. We got a monthly that's about to close we could look at. But also, like I said, we further moving into the second quarter of the year, and it's looking crazy, in a good way. We still got a lot of volatility, especially in our markets, but as you can see, I got the daily up. I don't know if y'all remember last Sunday, I notated this area on the 4 hour right here as for buys, especially once we broke above this structure. I was like, it's a high chance we could at least come here. And as you can see, so it was Tuesday night going into Wednesday, London session. We actually tapped into that price zone, and since then broke past it. Actually did a retest touch, and the market is still, showing some strong signs of bullishness, especially with this last 4 hour candle. That's a telltale sign right there. It's not really engulfing or nothing. Our favorite setup, but still, it's got power. It's a lot of volume in that candle, or a lot of strength in that candle. Let's see. Back to the daily. This is coming from a daily engulfing starting last week on Monday. So that's another thing we can attest to why the market is seeing a nice run. Other than the fact sweeping these lows, trying to overextend itself. A lot of people probably thought the market was going to continue lower, especially on the smaller time frames with this long extension week we had on the 19th. But if you were to wait to close, you would see that not only did the bears not continue with this sell-off, but it closed with a weak body for the bears. And right after that, to begin the week on a Monday, which would give you more reason to be patient and wait to see how the week was going to open up. We got this daily engulfing, and so far, the storyline for this move is pretty much filling the clean traffic that sold off. I want to say this was CPI selling from mid-April. I'm not sure though. Well, I think that's what that is. So, like I said, ultimately we did hit those targets, so that was a good buy. I could have went anywhere. I could have continued down, filling this gap, filling this wick. But like I said, that should have happened within the next candle or two. And as you can see, what happened to the next candle or two, we had a reverse. So even if you got in after these two candles, just for that extra confirmation, I don't feel like you need that long of a confirmation, but even though that trade worked out too, so we're not strongly bullish based on the daily. We still got a level of 66.50 that we need to cross, so we even start talking that, and ultimately above 68.60 before we start talking, real strong bullishness or continuation of bulls. If we look at the weekly, we are coming off of a weekly bullish engulfing. That's pretty much a pullback or maybe a reversal or a retest, however you want to call it, coming from a bearish weekly engulfing that pretty much started the month of April. So pretty much from the start of April, that first week or the second week, going into pretty much the last week, if you will, somewhat the last week of April, this last candle, we kind of have a little conflicting situation where we have, like I said, a bearish engulfing that took us to these lows, that even took us to this level from November 14 last year, took us down to that zone, and broke past it. Didn't close with a strong body to kind of like cancel out this zone like we usually look for, but we did have enough strength to break into it, and pretty much to the 50% level. That's pretty much where it kind of held it, right on top of that. So 64.10, that's pretty much like the mid level, so it kind of hesitated right around there, and then we get a nice little small little wick on the daily. So no further continuation. Like even on that wick, it didn't even go 50% of the wick to tap down into. So that's another little sign like how far extended are we gonna go down? And you'll really be able to see that on a smaller time frame, 4 hour daily. But as we can see, we do have a weird situation with these two conflicting engulfing candles. And not only that, this engulfing candle that's closing pretty much above this equilibrium. So one could say we could be going higher. So if I go here to here, 50 is here. We rejected that, and we kind of hovering around that area right now. So it would be nice to see how we play around with this area here, which is 65.50. See pretty much on the daily how we gonna respect that level right here, even though it could go higher, all the way up to ultimately filling this bearish sell-off to the top of this old gap extension right here, which is starting at 65. I'll just say 66 cents here. So that's a target for bulls, 66. But before we even get there, I would like to see how well we close above here, especially with this next day. So this is another scenario where I want to see how far extended we may get, and do we get a scenario on the smaller time frames for maybe a reversal that we could catch early for sales. That's starting to show signs of how this daily candle will close tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So we can monitor that. Y'all can have that on y'all charts if y'all want, but I just like to look at the equilibrium of the week, look at the bodies of the candles, stuff like that. Kind of, you'll see a trend happening that it kind of likes to. Well, it kind of has a struggle at that 50% level. So if it's struggling, then that might lead us to believe that it might be reversing. But we won't know that until we look at the smaller time frames. But let's take a quick glance at the monthly. The monthly is pretty much still kind of holding strong to this bearish outlook, but it's gonna be nice to see how this monthly candle closes, especially with these two large extensions, bullish and bearish.
Yeah, I do like that chart. Um, kind of good to. It's not the beginning of the week as well. For sure, the beginning of the month.
Hmm.
Uh, for sure, the end of the month. You should always take a look like that last week, last 2 weeks, whatever. Um,
Just like this was the last week of March, and look at it was an indecision candle.
exactly,
So who knew what was gonna happen? So yeah, at least give your first week a chance to let you know what's gonna happen. Okay, man, we pushed bullish. Where else could we be going? Well, I did have a gap up here from the 4 hour, and that was the exact prime area to sell from.
exactly. So, with this being like the end of the month of April, it's good to just take a glance at the monthly um, chart,
True.
get an idea, see how things can, like you said, see how it can kind of close for the month.
Right. As you can see, this monthly candle been all over the place. It's been as high as all the way up here to 66.40 and as low as 63.60. I
Yeah,
guess
it's been
almost 200 pips.
really been active this month.
No, facts. Undecisive, but active.
Oh yeah, very. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know which way I want to go. But to go along with this bearish engulfing on the monthly, we got a bearish continuation. We got a bullish candle with a wick on it, creating a pin bar. But the one thing that stands out is the candle tried to go as high as 66.60 or 70 almost, but it rejected all the way back down with this weak ass candle. Couldn't even close, engulfing, or it couldn't even close pretty much above, equilibrium of the last candle, whatnot. Couldn't even close below these wick rejections right here on the monthly, right here. Like I look at all that as different levels, especially on a larger time frame. Like what can it do? What can it not do? And that's a lot of things that it didn't do. It went this high, but as far as how it closed and decided to close, that didn't happen. Then you get this candle, same scenario, pushed all the way high. But one thing that it did, it extended way past the low of the confirmation of the sales. Like this candle confirmed sales after this bullish and bearish engulfing. And then you get a nice sweet retest entry. So if you was in sales, this candle push up. If it was starting to show you signs of a reversal, you had every right to sell from here because that would have been a crazy scenario to have, especially when this happened. Like you have to look at like the daily and see when did this push high happen. Did it happen early in the month, meaning that it's more story to tell? So we got like 3 more weeks left in the month for it to reverse, or did this push happen in the last week of the month? Because if it happened early in the month, that means we have more days in the month for it to potentially reverse or go higher. One thing we do know, if the market did come this high and wanted to close, chances are it's not going to go this high on a monthly candle. Like we see how big the monthly candles are. We got one right here. And even if that started right there and pushed this higher, what's the chances are that it's going to go that, especially from this higher, like coming from a level of support right here. We didn't even come to this strong support down here yet. So the chances are that it's going to close strong, bullish at this height, let alone going higher. I would think that would be a scenario that would play out typically in the mid to later times of the month. So what I'm saying is this push higher, creating this wick on this monthly. If this happened, what was this, March, like March 16th, 17th and forward, then I would be kind of like weary, like, damn, maybe this bitch could kind of consolidate up here for the rest of the month and closed strong bullish. And now we got kind of the same scenario we had on the weekly where we got a bearish engulfing and followed by a bullish engulfing. Maybe it could do that. But did we get that kind of scenario midweek where it started showing consolidation? Or did you get a scenario where it pushed higher, tried to entice more buyers, and then reversal sell off? Probably from news. And 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. We can look at the smaller time frames and see. That was from March 1st. But yeah. So what you thinking this month gonna close? And then we have what? 3 more days left, 2 more days.
Let me get, hold on, let me check. It can either do two things. It can be a pin bar. Um, yeah, it can either be a pin bar, bullish, or bearish. Possible bearish engulfing. Possible.
Like a sell off.
Yeah, like a sell-off, but it'll have to do it with a lot of volume. I don't really know. Got a lot of things that's going on right now, but just because of
Basically a rejection of what it did last week.
exactly. The only reason I'm kind of like throwing in fundamentals a bit,
Mm-hmm.
ki- you know, or what I think. So it's like everything that's going on with the wars and stuff. I just see more inflation happening. So, uh, just going off that alone, this market should continue to tank.
And the dollar should rise.
And the dollar should inflate. Yes, correct.
I got you. I got you. I ain't thinking about that. I'm kind of a cedar. I'm leaning more on a bullish candle. Pretty much kind of where
Where
it is right
I,
now.
yep, I agree. Yeah,
I,
I
and
do.
and I was just basically saying that on as far as the daily, I think we got more room to grow. So I feel like we're gonna get some bullish pushes. Shit, we might get it on this daily candle. Who knows? We might get a nice pop and push high. Who knows? But I think we at least gonna go here, maybe sweep these highs, test these rejection wicks up here, maybe, and then start to sell out for the week, creating a monthly scenario or a weekly scenario of a bullish push to these areas, and then a wick, a long wick to fill for next week, and then May will come around. We go fill that wick potentially, and then that'll be the perfect area to sell from. Basically selling in front of these rejection wicks on the weekly, and then continue lower
Yeah, I like that.
for the month of May.
I like
So
that a lot.
yeah, I feel like we can push higher, close right here, and then the next month is gonna be a bearish engulfing like this. We're gonna close
Yeah,
up here. The next month sell
I like that. Yeah, that especially looking at the monthly and stuff. Yeah,
off.
that makes a lot of sense. Monthly and the weekly.
Right.
Uh,
I think this candle is gonna get wick filled to the low side because one, it had enough power to break this extreme low. This
right,
wick didn't have enough power to break this extreme high. So I feel like it's going to be more weaker side for the Bulls to push higher and more attention to this old low that the Bears was able to get it to as low as it's like a it's like a reward. Like y'all niggas won. Y'all got it lower than the previous lowest extension. So we're gonna give the favor for y'all to go retest that victory. We're gonna revisit your victory.
I agree 100%. I mean, I like all of those breakdowns. The market can do all of those. The with the month ending, what you said, Tuesday, right? Tuesday evening.
I think Wednesday. We about to look at the
Okay,
news right now.
all right. So yeah, middle of the week, I can see your scenario playing out a whole lot more.
Yeah,
So
Wednesday.
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And
So
once you see what
they
kind of news release we got on Wednesday, it'll make even more sense.
correct, correct. So at the end of Wednesday, 4 p.m., that's when it's the new month after that closure.
Facts. Facts. So let's talk about news we got coming out. Starting tomorrow, no news tonight. We got Australian retail sales at 8:30. Um, Tuesday, we have
Bless
Judo
you.
Bank Manufacturing PMI at 6 o'clock. Wednesday, Fed interest rate decision. Fed press conference. 1 o'clock, 1:30.
They don't say nothing. What does the interest rates look like? What they trying to do?
Shit, it's 5.5 right now, but as far as what they're trying to do, I'm thinking they're gonna not cut it and increase it, but I definitely feel like they're not gonna cut it.
Yeah, they gonna increase that shit.
No facts. Like it's gonna probably go to like 5.75 type
Yep.
shit. But more news that morning on Wednesday. We got ADP employment change 7:15 in the morning. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, ISM Manufacturing PMI, and JOLTS all happening at 8:45, 9 in the morning. Then later Wednesday evening, 8:30, balance to trade, Australian dollar. Of course, Thursday, got our jobless claims. And we got Judo Bank Services, Australian dollar, 6 p.m. Friday, Sweet Buttery NFP, S&P Global.
Early in the
Yeah, Friday say NFP dropping. That's probably the reason why they had to have that Fed rate decision before non-farm payroll come out. Slide that on in there right quick. But yeah, unemployment rate, non-farm payroll, and S&P Global Services, ISM Services, PMI, Friday, May 3rd, 7:30, 8:45, 9 a.m. Yeah. So Wednesday, the Fed is going to have a conference and the interest rate decision. Let's see what the dollar is looking like right quick, just to sum it all up. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Yo, yo, yo. All right.
Yes, sir.
So back looking at the Australian dollar on a daily, we do have from Monday to now, we got this nice little surge of bullish candles. And one would think on the DXY, we should see the complete opposite. We should see a nice sell-off on the DXY. So for the DXY, Monday, we get the little sell-off. It's late. We got an indecision, sell-off, but no continuation. The struggle to continue, no continuation. We actually get a push higher too on the last day on Friday. So I feel as if the DXY might, I don't know, it might consolidate and wait for this interest rate decision right here. It's probably not going to 100% follow the Australian dollar. But I do see a potential of continuation of sales potentially for the dollar if we don't break above this high, 66.19. This is a very important high with this bullish push higher like this. If we don't continue with this trend and actually start to fill this, I think that alone with news, or if news is going to cause that, would be the play for the Australian dollar to sell off. No,
Yeah, I can. I don't
well,
really see
I
DXY
mean,
really moving
yeah, I mean, yeah,
crazy. Yeah, you're right. Until like that interest rate and with news
right.
and like that. So yeah,
It's not gonna happen till, like you said, till
yeah,
Wednesday.
right.
So it's just waiting. December, December. Yeah, let's see. I wouldn't mind it tapping above here and then selling off potentially, but with that bullish push I have seen, even though with this kind of trending scenario I have seen where the market could continue higher and just shoot through the roof, but we for sure gonna need to see it break above this 66.19. Like this is a very important level, I feel like, because we got this rejection wicks and we got a like a higher low, lower high, lower low type scenario. So we got the bearish scenario in play on the dollar, but it's not showing us nothing yet. We didn't get that strong sell off that we did on the Australian dollar as far as book buys. Um,
Yeah, and I think like that's when the fundamentals come into place. You know, when you're looking at stronger currency, whichever pair. So in our case, it'll be the USD. So just looking at the DXY and understanding where we are uh,
mhm.
economically, just dealing with war and just giving our money to, you get 50 billion, you get 50 billion. I
Man,
mean, that's a whole nother segment in itself. But this is the reason why they have to pump up interest. If they giving out money and we spending money, the dollar's just gonna fall. So they're just trying to pump it up, make us stop and spending so
yeah,
people can, cash out and start using our money more. But
yeah.
that's, damn near on its way out. So
Yeah, I was doing some research on the bonds, the 10-year bond um, prices and how it just affects the
okay.
market and how they look at it as far as to kind of judge where the market is going. They was talking about how the bonds, 10-year bond rate is kind of follow or mimic the interest rate for mortgages somewhat. I don't know what the bond rate is right now, but I do know that if you locked in, which a lot of the banks are in trouble with this right now, if you locked in at a 3%, 4% rate for on your 10-year bond yield, and the next time the rate gets adjusted, the new notes going forward are at 6%, your bonds are now worthless, and you got to sell them at a discount to get your money back because people are not going to buy your 4% locked yield bonds when they now have 6 and 7%. You feel me? So a lot of these banks are locked in these bonds for long term at some cap ass percents, as a because it's a safe haven. It was a long term thing, but now that interest rates rising, it's like, hold up, I was
Yeah, and
locked in.
it's
I
not
was locked
investment.
in. Yeah, I
They
was locked in at
people.
2.53% interest. Now interest rate this high, and I'm locked in, so I can't get my interest rate upgraded. I gotta deal with it, and that's exactly what they're
Exactly.
dealing with. They said,
Exactly.
but it was like 2 years ago. It was like Bank of America had an unrealized loss of like over $100 billion on those
Oh
bonds.
God.
Imagine seeing that on your trading account when you pop open your laptop. And you just
Man.
holding on to that loser. 100 Bs.
Wow, that's crazy.
Unrealized gain. So imagine when they do realize it, what's going to happen?
Oh yeah, they get phone calls fast.
Shit, they'll be making phone calls.
You ain't lying, yeah.
Let alone getting them, they're going to be making them. But yeah, I thought that was some good information. But yeah, man, S&P starting to buy back up from its 5-6 week bearish sell-off. Even longer if you go back and look history. But yeah, people been hurting. But this last little push kind of brought people back into the scope of things. You know. Shout out to all the stock traders. See what Bitcoin doing right now. Playing, hovering, consolidating. Actually, I'm gonna mark this up. Did I already? Yes, I did. All right.
Yes, all the stock traders are eating. Like this probably has been the best 5 years of their life.
Yeah, yeah. A bullish run.
Man, you got dudes in the fucking
Like, look at it.
in the late 2000s been trading since like, you know, housing crash times, like saying like this has been some of the best times.
Yeah.
Like reminiscent of those. So yeah, you ain't lying. Shout
Look at
out to
that
them.
run. Look at
Man,
everybody after this biggest scare in their life. When people was like mass, people dying, Eric COVID spreading, we get the crash. All the people that was buying right here, yeah, biggest return. Slight pullback in the start of 2023 and 2024, more upside gain. I mean, this alone right here just killed. This right here, this little push higher, that's where, yeah, people just changed their life. That was the lottery. Even though if you held, you got all this upside, but this would turn $1,000 into 80 grand for people. This is why all them documentaries was getting made. That little push right there. A lot of people got shaken out right here. And then you see the market continue higher. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro. But yeah, man, as we always do, I'll wrap this up. Like we said, this is the last week. Pretty much it's like a double feature, if you will. It's the last week of this month, but also about to start the first week of next month. So we will have NFP this week on Friday. But like we said, it's looking like the Bulls might want to finish filling this gap. Might want to go as high as up to these old highs potentially. Tapping into this level again and finally breaking it. Who knows? Who the hell knows? We don't know. But again, I got levels there. And if we come up even higher, I got levels up here too. And if we come even higher, I got levels up here too. So I got all kind of levels for you. How much money you trying to get? The market ain't going nowhere without us knowing about it. That's real talk. So we'll see how this 4 hour plays out. And according to the news releases, we'll see when we can get into some amazing sales. Because we know overall, looking at the monthly,
Yeah,
that's
we
that's what that
not buying the
that's
top right.
hell no. We want that top to top out. Like get there quick. And just show us the signs. That's all we need. We just need the signs. We'll do the rest from now. Ain't nothing but clicking a button.
Make it simple, man. Follow the plan.
Yeah,
We
bro.
have a lot of stuff going on. Don't, some would say don't even trade this week because it'll be so crazy, but um,
No, this is. I mean, yeah. I mean,
early,
you
early
could be
NFP.
protected. You could be protected, but on the flip side of that, interest rate decisions, NFP, CPI, that's where accounts get flipped. If you know how to if you know what you're doing, you'll flip it positive. If you don't know what you're doing, you will get flipped physically up on your head. But these big volume news events, this is where people really exponentially grow their account. These every day, every week little setups, that's gonna get you your consistent profits. But when that volume come in, yeah, that's when you go crazy. Turn that 3 into a 9. But yeah, man, I think we're gonna go and wrap this one up, brother. We'll we'll keep everybody updated on Telegram, see how we continue on this bullish push.
No, that's a bet.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, keep it tapped in and we'll see how this week goes, bro.
All right, brother.
All right, I'll holler at you.
Yeah, y'all be careful.
All right, you too, boy.
All right,
All right, peace.
bet.